All right, 3, 2, 1, live. All right, all right. Actually, on time this morning. Yeah, it's mostly because I didn't sleep last night. Well, I slept, but not much. I have to thank the fantastic Mr. Kana for that. What are you gonna do? Babies will be babies. So unfortunately, he is really constipated today, and I don't want to get into the specifics in case he ever stumbles across this when he's older, or someone from school, when he's in high school or whatever, stumbles across this when he's older. Man, he is not a happy child. He hasn't been sleeping. I think we're using too much oatmeal in his food or something, or I don't know. The last oh, what happened? Something. Yeah. Okay, are you gonna post over? You gonna post over? Come on, click, 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 post. Share now public. Share now to a page. Share. And go to the Twitter. Twitter. Better. I got one person in here. So, good morning. As per usual, my fingers are fumbling all over the keyboard. So I do have some coffee this morning, which is fantastic. Nice, different cup today. And just kind of doing the whole trying to wake up thing. Like I said. Bless me. I didn't get much sleep last night, but last night before, all right, I have a little mini rant coming on, but last night before that, I did this. Come on. Get all the way up there. Yeah, just like that and that. I did this little doobly-doo. Looks very similar to this one. However, I'll just take the bodies. It's a wee bit taller and a little bit wider. So it's 1/8 inch wider and 3/16 inch taller. Purpose of that is the cards, while they fit in the other one, and that's the pattern I used for Saturday. I wanted them to be a little bit easier to get in and out. And this pocket here is just a little. This one was just a little too small, so I upsized it just a hair. I'm gonna start putting that into production. Otherwise, that's pretty much that. So, how's everyone doing this morning? Let's have a few pleasantries before we start getting into the rant, because this is something that's been bugging me for the last couple weeks. Laura Blackwell, good morning. All right, so rant time before people start pouring in here and I look like a psychopath. It's already been 5 minutes. It's only been 5 minutes. Okay, rant time. Video games. First off, where did couch co-op go? It seems like every game that is online only or single player. And here's the thing that's really bugging me. And my brother spent money on a couple games for me and him to play online, but they were also games that said you can play with your family. Normally, a family doesn't have 4 Xboxes sitting all side by side with 4 TVs all sitting side by side. That's not the normal. So why would they make it specifically Monopoly Deal has this thing where you can host a local match, and there's 5 slots. It says play with your family. Okay, local match on the same system. Maybe we can use the same controller. Maybe we have to switch controllers. That's fine. Whatever. You can only play against AI. How stupid is that? And then, one my brother specifically bought so me and him can even play together, online, because he lives all the way out in Missouri. Ticket to Ride. It even says in the freaking description, play with your family and friends. A great game to play with your family and friends. And he bought 2 copies of it to give me so he could have one, I could have one, and we could play together. What a fantastic concept. No. Single player only. Why would you have in there play with your family and friends if you can't play with your family and friends? Are you all going to sit side by side on 4 different Xboxes and all play single player? Why would you do that? That is the dumbest, most infuriating thing I've ever seen. I loved couch co-ops, with video games. They were so much fun. Some of my best memories were couch co-op games. The original Halo. We would all get together and get a bunch of different Xboxes together, and this is before anyone really had internet. And we would get TVs, and we'd go over to my grandparents' house, and the neighbors would come over to our one buddy's house, and we'd walk over to our buddy's house. One of us would carry the system, one of us would carry a TV, and we'd get we'd get pizza and drinks and stuff, and there'd be like 8 of us, and we'd have a blast having a LAN party. Some of my best memories were couch co-ops. Some of my best memories. And now it's just gone for who knows what reason. I just don't get it. So it looks like we have a few people coming in the chat, and let's pop it over that screen and see what they think about this whole phenomena of couch co-op going by. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Joe. Your thumbnail this morning is great. What thumbnail? For the live streams, it's just automatically generated, so oh, that's unique. Kind of looks like a French painting or something. So what do you two think of the decimation of the couch co-op in video games the last 4 or 5 years? They're disappearing, and it's a shame. It really is. For real, couch co-op is amazing. Needs to come back. I'm not a fan of internet multiplayer. See, I don't mind internet multiplayer. However, I think there needs to be some sort of a balance. And right now there's not. Everything is, a lot of games don't even have single player anymore. It's only online multiplayer. And for some of them, it works. Some of them, it makes sense. However, not for every game. Not every game needs to have only multiplayer. Not every game needs to have only internet access or only single player. No, you need to have a whole breadth of things, because not everyone likes the same scenarios, same everything. I don't know. It bugs me, if you couldn't tell. I really, some of my best memories were with couch co-op games. Gears of War, playing Horde with a bunch of guys at Penn State Worthington, and we're all acting like jackasses in the cafeteria as we're playing and going through it, hooting and hollering. Oh my God, some of the best times. And before that, all the Halo games, with my friends and some of my family, especially my brother. That was just a ton of fun. And, the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3, and the PlayStation had a bunch of great games. I remember one. What was it? It was like Shipwreck or something. You were some sort of shitty pirate type thing, and you had to go through these like mazes and stuff with your pirate ship to collect, bounties and that was a good time, because it was actually cooperative. It wasn't just like, couch multiplayer or whatever. But good morning, Joey. How are we doing today? I'm bitching about video games this morning. Joe, between the loss of having the social experience of couch co-op and a lot of game servers being glitchy and the modders killing the fun. Yeah, that's kind of how it's going. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I can tell. I'm fine. Just woke up. I'm glad to hear that, Joey. I'm glad you're doing well. Joey, you actually had some comments from yesterday's stream. First off, it was in reference to my schedule when I worked at Procter & Gamble. How the fuck is that chaos fair? It's not. I just wanted to throw that out there for you. And the other one, so you're just gonna straight up stop streaming even on weekends? I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that. Me and my wife are going to talk about it. However, going back to work thing is kind of difficult to stream at 9 o'clock in the morning when you're supposed to be there at 8 o'clock. So yeah, that would kind of at least change the time drastically. And usually Connor's up at 5:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm usually up for an hour or so with him, just hanging out and letting Mick get some sleep before I go to work. So I can't do anything there, not really. I want to keep doing at the very least, I want to keep doing the giveaways, even if it's every other weekend or once a month, something, because they're fun. It's a great way to, prototype shit. And then I don't have to worry about feeling like it's a wasted materials or time prototyping, because I can then give it away and I got all this watch time and stuff. So it's using a lot more of the Buffalo. So I want to try that at the very least. So I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the solution is. Unless somehow magically I'm able to start pulling in $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month, from doing just YouTube within the next couple weeks. I think I'm gonna have to go back to my day job. So, unfortunately, that's the case. Let's see, Joey, glitchy online is a treat sometimes, though. I played Saturday Night Slam, Slam Masters with a classmate over the internet. We desynced, and his guy was stuck humping the mat, which was hilarious. That does sound pretty entertaining. There are sometimes, occasional glitches aren't terrible. But when things are glitchy and you get hacked all the time, and it's when it's a continuous chronic problem, it becomes untenable. And I'm actually going through that problem right now with a shitty EA game. The game itself is not shitty, but it's an EA property, so take that as you will. I guess all their servers got hacked a couple weeks ago, and my account was part of that. So I need to go on and try and recover it and change passwords. I was playing Apex Legends. Fun, free game. It's not super hard to play. It's it's like a first-person shooter like PUBG or what's that other, what's that other really popular one? There's a couple. Anyways, got completely locked out. It was a great game for me and my brother to play with. It's tactical. It's 3-man teams. So we either get a rando or one of his buddies pops on. It's a great time. It was a really good time, and it's just stupid fun, just mindless. And I got locked out because glitchy, everybody's an asshole servers. I just have a penchant for the stupid. Apex is literally watered down Titanfall. Titanfall 2 is incredible. I haven't played either of the Titanfall games. Yeah, I mean, it's stupid easy. It's stupid fun. It's really competitive, but that's kind of the point. It's actually easier to play than Mario Kart, I think. So, don't tell my wife, but I'm having Oreos for breakfast. Titanfall 2 is frequently cheap and super worth it. Well, if I can get it really, really, really cheap, maybe I'll take a look at it. But right now, I'm pushing all my money towards, the business and my kid, because it's kind of the priority, not video games. But if I can get it really, really cheap, I'll consider playing it. And to be completely honest, I'm not even going to be looking for a new game to play or buy for at least another 2-3 weeks, and probably even longer than that, because I want to pick up the new Gears of War, which it's disappointing to my inner child that I haven't bought it yet, but there's just been so much going on that I couldn't. I want to, but I just couldn't. Even though I did beta testing for that, which is cool. I always love playing beta games. So I have that one on my radar first, and then there's another one that just came out. I don't know. It'll come to me. Well, since we're on the subject of video games, I am so disappointed that the Mass Effect Andromeda series got totally annihilated. Like, I really think they got the shit into the stick. And it was mostly because stupid fanboys had everything hyped up in their own mind and wanted this amazing, incredible game, and when it didn't live up to what their headcanon was on what they expected, they just shit all over it, and it ruined the whole property, which is disappointing. It's just so disappointing that they were able to. I mean, it had such potential, and everyone says, blah, 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 but that game series is so good and such great potential, and I loved going through all the lore that they always just saturated everything with. Oh, do you mean like Star Wars? Yes, I do. It just, people call themselves fans, but whenever anything new comes out in the series, in the genre, in the same frickin' line, they have to shit all over it, and it ruins things. Star Wars fans, the little shitty fanboys who think they're actual fans, who destroy the property because it doesn't live up to what they fap to at night, ruins it for everyone else. And that is not a fan. That is an asshole who wants things their way. These, like the Star Wars fanboys, drove people out of acting. Good actors out of acting. They drove actors to the point of suicide. That is not being a fan. That's being an asshole. And there is no way you can ever convince me anything else. When you start attacking and trying to destroy the property, and there is a difference between that and constructive criticism. But they absolutely destroy people over their own little headcanon, and it's bullshit. It's completely wrong, and they should feel ashamed of themselves. Frickin' preach. Dude, I remember being 6 watching the originals when it wasn't cool to be a fan. I know. They started coming out again when I was a kid, and I was beyond happy. It was great that they were making new Star Wars. And then you have these grown-ass adults, getting in your face and telling you you're an idiot and this, that, and the other, and you shouldn't watch this and you shouldn't like that because of this, that, and the other is too childish. Like, fanboy, do you remember the Ewoks? They were put in there just to be childish. And it's a fantasy movie about space wizards. Chill. But the more they do that bullshit, the worse the property gets. And the less people want to be part of it. Did you hear about all the harassment the little kid from the last Avengers movie got? What in the literally F is wrong with people? Harassing a goddamn kid. Little kid? And don't be sorry for having a lot of opinions on this. Clearly, I have a lot of opinions too. But kid, I don't remember the kid from the last Avengers movie. Tony Stark's kid? The little girl? Is that what is that who you're talking about? Yeah. I didn't hear about that, but I mean, but yeah, let's hit on that point right now. She got harassed. Great, good job. You bullied a little girl who was doing a job. How does that make you? How does that make you a better person? How does that make you a big, strong boy to bully a child? And then you can even look at back to Star Wars. The kid who played young Anakin. These fanboys ruined that kid's life. And then you look at Game of Thrones, the kid who played Joffrey. He's done. Acting forever. Done. He received so much hate mail and so many death threats and everything else. He's done with it for life. And the fact that you hated him means he did his job well. He was a great actor. You're supposed to hate the bad guy. So he did his job perfectly. They got it perfect. And people ruined it. Think of what a great career that kid could have had. But no, they just destroyed it. Joey, I recall an actor from episode 8 got continuously harassed to the point where she had to leave social media, period. People are pathetic. Yeah, that Asian girl who was the mechanic. Her sister was on the bombing thing, and she ended up getting a big role. Yeah, she had to delete everything. Like, what the hell is wrong with people? And yeah, Anakin ended up in a mental hospital after episode 1. The kid was like, what, 6, 8 years old? Hell's wrong with people? Bullying a child until they have a breakdown. Like, there are things that I want to do to those types of people that I cannot say on this show. Probably when he killed kids in episode 3. That's good. But I mean, seriously though, like, what is wrong with people? I just don't get it. I know this is not my normal talk, not my normal live stream, but damn. Yeah, Joey, that was pretty good. So much rage about stupid people. It's a continuous thing that builds up in the back of my mind. They get rid of couch co-ops. They have shitty glitches all the time. And then fanboys ruin properties. Fantastic properties. And then fanboys bully children until they end up going into a I don't even know what that would be. A homicidal rage when three episodes later. Nerd rage, you mean? Yeah. Well, I don't think it's even nerd rage, because when you think about it, they're systematically taking away things that people enjoyed just so they could have higher and higher profits down the road, with the whole video game thing. And I guess you could, call the other stuff nerd rage. I just call it being an asshole, because when you look at it's not exclusive to nerds or geeks or whatever. Anything you do, there's always going to be, a ridiculous amount of pushback. But it's sad when the industry starts to cave to it. And it's usually not even the bulk of the fans, it's a very vocal minority that ends up screwing everything up for everyone else. And that's it's a terrible shame. It really is. That was a good crack. Felt good. Like, no matter what you're doing, you're going to get those people. No, it's bullying, and the advent of keyboard anonymity has made it worse. It is. It really is. All it is bullying, based on what you thought, you had in your own mind was better than what the people who actually created the thing that you loved created. Have y'all seen Misery, the movie Misery? Same thing. She didn't like what the author did in that movie, and she decided to do something about it. Well, there's hundreds of thousands of fans out there for every genre and for every property in each genre that feel the same way. Whenever the creators of that property or that genre do something different, it's not relegated to just the internet or just the radio or just typing or emails or whatever. It's endemic of humanity. Joey, God bless indie devs. Really, seriously, indie developers are awesome. You can play both Guacamelee games with a friend, start to finish, and that's just swell. Joe, book's so much better, but yeah, that was King's satire on entitled fandoms. It really is, though. And there's thousands and thousands and thousands of fans for every property, every genre, every type of anything that feel the same way. Car guys are the same way. Camaro comes out. Oh, the new Camaro sucks. It has, it's not a real Camaro because it doesn't have this and blah, 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 blah. And it has to have a V8 and be standard transmission only, man, or you're not really driving a real Camaro. Dude, shut up. It says Camaro. It goes vroom vroom. And it gets me from point A to point B. Being that entitled asshole gets you nothing but angry at yourself. And where's that getting you? Nowhere. And Joey, coming back to you about indie devs. And I am so sad I can't find it anymore. But, it was 7 years ago, this $1 game came out on the Xbox Marketplace, and I absolutely loved it. You could play it with single player, you could play it with 4 people. It was, I made a game with zombies in it. It only cost $1. And it was such a stupid amount of fun. And that was just a game just to sit back and just do stupid shit on it and kill all these zombies, and it only cost $1, so who cares? It's just a ridiculous amount of fun. The guy probably made $1 million off it. But it was just that, just a very simple top-down shooter game, randomly generated everything, and it was just so much fun. Joe, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was such a good game. Oh my god. And you could play that game, but the thing was, there was no way to continue making money off it, so it's gone. Which is sad, but it was a good game. So much fun. Guacamelee. Think Metroid, but in a world heavily inspired by Lucha Libre. Game ruled. Huh. Interesting. I remember that freaking thing somehow. The song got added to Rack Band at some point. I made a game with zombies in it, and only cost $1. And for all of you who don't remember the soundtrack, go look it up on YouTube. Enjoy yourself. You're welcome, or I'm sorry, depending. And all of you who have played it, you're welcome for getting that little earworm stuck right in there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to that later. I mean, everyone that ever came over, like my house, my apartment, whatever, we all played it at some point together, and through various states of sobriety and inebriation, and I can't ever remember not having an amazing time playing that game. It was always just a whole boatload of fun. But yeah, it's no longer on the marketplace. And you can't download it from games that you used to own, like you can with most of the Xbox games. So it breaks my heart a little bit every time I think about that game, because it was so much fun. It was so much fun. What other games were there that were like that? Just no matter what it was, you just had a complete blast playing. Scott Pilgrim. Never played that game. I'm trying to think of some of the old PlayStation titles. Old. List of all PlayStation games. Ooh, I know this isn't PlayStation, but GoldenEye. Now that was a game to have fun on. Toy Soldiers. That was a good game. Played just like the movie, and that was a boatload of fun. There's this one Star Wars game. It was like almost like arena matches. You versus the hordes of the CIS, and you got to take over some ships and stuff, and you were Jedi and fighting. That was a lot of fun. Jurassic Park Rampage. Rampage was another good game, and that was a Street Fighter type game, but you were just dinosaurs. That was a lot of fun. I think it was Shipwreck, that game I was talking about earlier, the PlayStation game that now I'm thinking about PlayStation games. It's only single player, but Spider from Boss Entertainment. Oh, that was a good game. It's super trippy too. Yeah, that was a good game. I played it like, I don't know, 8 years later. Graphics were terrible. Didn't matter. There were Cool Borders. Oh my god, I forgot about Cool Borders. Oh man. But yeah, Cool Borders. Oh. Yeah, and what was another game we played? Oh my god. I can't believe so many games came out. Dance Dance Revolution, we played that a ton. Well, somehow my fat ass was great at it. Dead or Alive, yeah, that was good. Wow, so many good games. Dino Crisis, yeah. Apparently there's a new Jurassic Park coming out soon, and they got like all the original actors and stuff. Which that's gonna be a ton of fun. I'm just gonna scroll all the way down. Gotta be. Ooh, Gundam. Oh, what was that other one? It was a like another mech game. But it's way super technical. Like you designed everything about your robot, and you could go on all these missions and stuff. Oh, this is gonna kill me. Yeah, that's gonna kill me. Gex Enter the Gecko. It's only single player, but and that game was way inappropriate for someone my age playing that game. Shipwreckers, that's what it was. Oh, that was a great game. Overboard. Yeah, that was a really good game. Let's see. I'm sure there's a million messages now. Armored Core. Joey, yes, Armored Core. The old school wrestling games. I never played the wrestling games. Snowboard Kids. Right? Turok. Rage Wars. Rage. Yeah, really good games. GoldenEye was amazing. The original Rainbow Six Siege. Yes. All the Rainbow Sixes were good. What was the first one that came out for 360? Me and my brother played the piss out of that game. Just the two of us would just go through and just do everything on the hardest thing, and we got it so that we had everything memorized. It was like clockwork. Like, ready, set, and we just count 1, 2, 3, turn, 5, 6, 7, turn, 8, bop, and just go through and just tear through these guys. And oh man, was that great. Mech Warrior. I didn't play Mech Warrior. I think I had Mech Warrior for my computer at home. I'll come back to that thought in a second. Armored Core. It was Armored Core. Oh my god, that was so much fun. And I loved, honestly, the Kurosawa was my favorite gun. It almost always put me overweight. But having that nice long range rifle, I could just sit back, jet up to somewhere high, take out half the field, and then rush in with my blades and slice down everyone else. Good times. Yeah, Armored Core. I think I had Armored Core. I didn't have the original. I had 2 and 4, I think. I kind of want to pick up that title again. Even one of the newer ones, just to get back into that, because that was so much fun. So I had this game for my computer. It was even more technical than Armored Core. I don't know why I'm pointing everything with the all, my scratch all. Anyways. It's way more technical than Armored Core. Because you had loadouts and stuff, but then you also had to manage your supply train. And you could also get repaired in the field. I wish I could remember what this was. Maybe it was Mech Warrior. But it was pretty much, you had to find somewhere flat and level that had entrance, vehicle entrance from where you started. Ground vehicle entrance. And as long as you could find a spot that was like that, you could get a field repair. And what would happen is 3 tractor trailers would pull up around your guy. And imagine like this was your mech. They would pull up, back up, and then their trailer parts would lift up and come together. And you could kind of see what was going on, but kind of not. Oh man, that was such a good game because it was so technical and so trying, and you had to really go through and really think everything out for every mission. Oh, that was so much fun. And everything was so realistic in that game. I absolutely loved it. I spent so much more time preparing for everything than I actually did playing. And really, for me, that was way more than half the fun. The first still I remember, Tips and Tricks magazine, that was a section dedicated to dudes' creations in the latest Armored Core. Right next to the Ammo Crossing stuff. Right? Like, everyone always had these builds and stuff. It was like reading like a car magazine or something. Reading through people's different builds of their mechs in Armored Core. Like, that was seriously cool stuff. It really was. And that got that, little me's brain turning on things. My wife. I sent her a video on how to make Krispy Kreme donuts from scratch. If we do end up making those and they turn out decent, I'll post a link to I'll post that video to my Facebook group. because come on, why not? Anyways, such good games. The first one is a sleeper at first because FPS being the soup of the day, but then holy crap, so much replay value. You know, I've never really had that experience with those games. But maybe it's because I jumped into them so late. It's just turned into video game day, I guess. My favorite game. My favorite game growing up. I'd have to say, or favorite video game rather, was Star Wars Dark Forces 2. I never played the first one. And that was my first Star Wars game. And oh my goodness. So much fun. So much fun. And I think that was also the first game that I got introduced to cheat codes for. And I was doing all sorts of crazy shit. And I thought that game was so cool because your choices and how you did things determined the story, which I thought was amazing. Even though there's only 2 divergent storylines, in my brain, was it 12-year-old Chris, 10-year-old Chris thought, oh my god, everything I do, has so much weight and impact, and you have to choose the right force abilities, and you have to do this and you have to do that, and ba 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 ba. So much fun. And at that age, it also made me consider how much I had to think about all the consequences, even in my own life, pretty much from then on. So it was a great informative game, even though that was not a game for me. That was not a game for my age group. It taught me a lot, and I will always appreciate it. I don't know why I keep having to touch things today and play with them. It's gonna be one of those days, I do think. I don't know, guys. Shipwreckers. That was such a good game. I mean, to be fair, if you try to pick it up and play with it today, it'd just be absolute dog shit. But at the time, that was a great game. I remember me and my brother, we had these I guess they're called boyfriend chairs or husband chairs or whatever. They're the pillows that sit on the ground with the arms that come out. We had 2 of those, and so we'd stack them. I'd sit here because I was taller, and he'd sit in front of me. So we each had back support. We weren't leaning on each other. And we both had nice clear view of the television. And so we'd sit there. But we were just close enough that the cords would reach the PlayStation. And just sitting there and just talking back and forth. It was so much fun. Those were the days. Not because, of any, glorified anything. It was just those days were they seemed a lot simpler. Just playing these simple games. I mean, looking back on it now, it's just such a terrible game. And you could fight each other in that game, I think, too. But we always had more fun playing the co-op version. Though sometimes it was great just to find a way to equip a flamethrower and roast his ass. It's so simple. But those were some really good times, and I really don't think I'm looking back on those with rose tinted goggles, because playing that game I felt the same. Back then I thought it was just the best. So those were some pretty good times. I miss those. Now there was Mortal Kombat, but here I am 20 years later, right? Some of those games were just, I think a lot of parents are just up in arms because there's violence and kids can't have violence in their lives. Like, dude, every generation of kids has a ridiculous amount of violence in their lives. And you can try and protect them all you want, but it's not going to do anything. And you get the gold star recommendation for trying to protect kids. Yeah, great. But at the same time, like, dude, you're not getting very far with that. I was a violent kid, but it wasn't because of Mortal Kombat. Well, I think all kids were kind of violent. I mean, I know it varies from child to child, and there's a lot of other circumstances, but everyone wanted to play the blame the video game thing, mostly because parents didn't understand them, and they seem to just want to blame the things they don't understand instead of taking the time to understand them. Joey, and that got smacked right out of me in 4th grade. Knowing you, it's actually kind of hard to think of you as a violent anything. Because you're just such a shy, quiet kid that just sits in the corner, does your own thing. It's hard thinking about you as violent in any sort, in any sense of the word, really. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Oh, sweet Jesus. It's on Jesus, guys. We're coming up on the hour. So, yeah, today was video game day, I guess, here on Coffee with Night. So, clearly special education worked then. It did. Definitely did. Alright, guys, so I'm going to get going here. I'm going to go play with my kid for a little bit, and then we're going to start cleaning some stuff up, I guess, down here, and maybe I'll have some more coffee, a few more Oreos. Might spend the day reminiscing about some more old video games, and I don't know if you guys were here in the beginning, but I changed that pattern slightly from what I did on this weekend, or last weekend. So here's the new pattern. I know it's only slightly bigger, but let me explain the changes. So here's the new pattern. Oop. Here's the old one. Let me get those lined up on the bottom. So not much change, like 3/16 inch taller and 1/8 inch wider. Fallen from Grace 06. Oreos sound good. They do, right? And I think the next change I want to make is I want to make it, instead of being a vertical, just slightly bigger, just slightly. Because I still want it to be a slim wallet, but I want the cards to get in and out just a little bit easier. And the other change I want to make, instead of making it a vertical open on top, because you're going to bend your cards. All the cards you want to get, your cards like on the inside when you want to get something from the center, you're going to bend your cards to hell. Or it's going to be hard to open or whatever. And that's a deep pocket, narrow opening. Not fun. So what I want to do, change it from a vertical wallet to a horizontal one, where the cards still come out to the side like this. And there's going to be a little bit more of a protection for the edge of your card here. But I want it open, at the top. That way it's a lot easier to get in here. It's not going to bend the cards nearly as much. And that's going to be the guy that goes into production. So I'm changing it from a vertical to a horizontal with the card just coming out the sides. Did that last night. And then before I was able to start cutting the leather, we got called up to start playing some video games, and I had this great one that my brother got me. That was, I thought, a couch co-op game, which is Monopoly Deal, and it didn't, and I started talking about that, and that's how we ended up on the whole video game rant today. Sounds awesome. I bet it's going to work extremely well. That's the point. And that's why I make the prototypes and give them away, just so it's, I get what I need out of it and it's gone out of my life. But I think that's going to be a good change. Anyways, this is the second time I'm saying goodbye. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. Unfortunately, this is going to be this is the last week, I think, for the live streams, unless some other solution presents itself. I really appreciate you guys coming out and watching me. I'll see you tomorrow morning, and thank you for helping make this world better, one kerf at a time. Enjoy the rest of your day.